We are live on whatever it is that we're doing here.
Hard Rock.
It feels like washing machines is probably the way to go.
Hard Rock.
If you don't know by now that you're not supposed to eat paint, then you should just eat it.
Hard Rock.
Flammable.
Hard Rock.
I don't really wish ill on anybody. I just want them to go away.
Hard Rock.
That has gone the way of the dodo.
Hard Rock.
And I'm not after getting people fired, except that person.
Hard Rock.
Whoosh, 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 whoosh.
Hard Rock.
And you just shake it as hard as you can.
Hard Rock.
What's the point of that? Absolutely nothing. And I really can't even remember how I got started on it.
Hard Rock.
That thing is making what we in the business call a ruckus.
Hard Rock.
I cannot believe I spent so much time talking about that. But
Hard Rock Lunchbox.
Greetings and salutations, good listeners of the Hard Rock Lunchbox and hopefully the top 20. It is August 31st. The year is 2023, I think. And hopefully we are broadcasting and transmitting live. It's been a morning already. I'm going to check in on the chat really quick to make sure that we are indeed transmitting. Looks like people have been able to get there. That's good. I know that, So, right, we've been having a little site trouble here, so I think we're... All right. Okay. I think we're doing... I think... Maybe, possibly, we're doing okay. It's about as good as that's going to get. I think I'm transmitting. So, okay, good. All right. We are transmitting. We are live on whatever it is that we're doing here, wherever it is we're doing it. So, greetings. It's very amusing to me to have this rough of an opening on a day where I feel like maybe I could have taken a day off from the pod. I don't know if anybody else does that when you just sort of like roll through your life and it's like, I just don't feel like doing this today. And then the universe is like, yeah, you really shouldn't have done that today. That's what just happened. But I think everything's working. You got it. I got the show started late, of course. It looks like everything's recording, so that's good. Video is videoing. I'm still digging the newer camera stuff with this new Lumina camera. This is good. I still have another camera to try out, but I've really just been too busy / probably too lazy to do anything about it. But I do want to try it out because the technology is better. And I do feel like it's a little bit better to have better quality video. I know that, like... I don't even know. I honestly, I don't even know like what sort of drives it. I probably watch more content, and I hate that word, but like that's what it is. Like more, I think I probably watch more television-like stuff on YouTube than anywhere else. So I'm familiar with what that content looks like. And every now and then, like, I'll watch stuff that I'm doing, and I'll be like, wow, that looks awful. And it's because it is awful. Like, it's only going to be as good as the quality of the ingredients, right? Like, I've said that forever about pretty much anything that anybody ever does in the creative realm. Like, when you're, using bad equipment, like, there's a limit. Like, there's a hard limit to as good as something can be. And so I was using an outdated camera, I guess. I upgraded the laptop because it was having those performance issues, but like I've used Logitech stuff forever. I love Logitech stuff, but I think it's really just more about the quality for like streaming. So it's what it's looking for is or what it's prioritizing is not necessarily what I'm prioritizing. And not that I'm so much interested in that the quality of all this looks, 4K or 8K or, 5K. I don't even know. Like, I don't, honestly, like, for a techie, I know very little about tech because I don't care. And I think that that's probably an important distinction. I mean, maybe not to you, but like, I just don't care. I was actually having a conversation yesterday with my boss about how like tech people, and I don't mean to offend anybody because I'm not trying to offend anybody, but like how tech people get like super jazzed about like new tech, and all they want to do is roll it out. And the parent company, the company that I primarily work for, is doing exactly that. And everybody from, you know, the top down, from the tech top down, is pushing like, oh my God, this is going to be so great. It's going to be life changing. And like all of us are like, yeah, kind of every time you roll something out, it really doesn't work the way it was intended. And there's always like, oh, well, that's, you know, this is that. And, you know, oh, you can't do that anymore. That's one of my personal favorites. So it's just, you know, we ended up getting on the conversation about how much I just really don't appreciate that my washing machine, my smart washing machine, has trouble washing stuff, and my environmentally friendly smart dryer refuses to dry anything completely unless I override it. At least I can override the dryer. The washing machine just simply will not be overridden. And it's so funny too, because like, as somebody that like appreciates development in technology, and also somebody like me that really studies and is fascinated by the human condition, I don't know how many people in my listening audience are, let alone give one F about what I'm about to talk about in terms of washing machines. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't have much to talk about. I only had stuff that was kind of like in the political realm a little bit, or like the social realm, just because of how tired I'm getting of dumb people and closed off people. But it feels like washing machines is probably the way to go. So I don't know how many people out there are even interested in following the big washing machine controversy that I currently just invented. But there's lots of new technology, and it's designed to make your life easier. Right? That's what they say. It's not really true. It's designed to make up the difference between what human beings are capable of doing and want to do, and then like kind of saving them from themselves. You know, like Chris Porter like talks about, he's a comedian, he talks about how you know, we really should just sort of take the warning signs off of paint and warning signs off of gas cans, right? Like, so if you don't know by now that you're not supposed to eat paint, then you should just eat it. And if you also don't know by now that like gasoline might be flammable, or as he does, like if you're having that problem, it's probably like flammable. Like if you're having that much trouble trying to figure that out, then you really should try and read the instructions on the side of a gas can with your lighter. Like, I'm all for that. Like, I've been saying this for weeks and months now. Like, as far as I'm concerned, there are way too many people on the expressway. And, you know, the thinning the herd idea that the, you know, anti-vaxxers and anti-maskers in the beginning had was totally on point. They just had the wrong people in mind, which is unfortunate, because I'm all for them. Just because I'm just tired. I'm just tired of them. And I don't really wish ill on anybody. I just want them to go away. So if they can go away without, you know, having to get ill, I guess that's what I'm looking for. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about washing machines, right? So what these companies have done is they're trying to address a problem, a shortcoming with your user, with the end user. And it's a noble cause, right? Because the user experience drives everything, right? That's where you get your dollars from. That's where the companies get their dollars from. It's where they get market share from. I mean, customer service is garbage. Like, I think we all kind of know that. And if you don't know that, like, then you're just not calling customer service, and you're one of the millions of us that have just given up. It is just so rare to get good customer service these days, that people just really don't expect it. And even myself, like, I have fallen victim to it because I have overthanked people so much for doing a good job, and then walked away from that realizing, like, I really just thank them for doing their job. You know what I mean? Like, if I order a pizza from a pizzeria and they make that pizza and I go get it and it in the box is indeed the pizza I ordered, like, I shouldn't be like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, I should really just be like, thanks, man, for doing that thing I asked you to do, and just walk away. But in today's world, and the way people take their job seriously, or don't take their job seriously, and the way they just treat people in things, like, it's like a big anomaly. Like, I don't know how many people out there like order stuff and it's just wrong all the time. Like, it's like it used to be like, oh my God, and then you would call and they'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, that has gone the way of the dodo. I mean, I know the last fight I had with Amazon, it's like, they had like something like supposed to be here in 2 days or whatever, and then it was like 3 days and then 4 days and then 9 days, and I called up like, what are you going to do about this? And they were like, nothing. We're not going to do anything. If you don't want it, don't receive it. I'm like, okay, well, now what I want to do is talk to your manager. And I did talk to their manager, and I told them the very first thing. I was like, first of all, I don't really care about this item, but if you ever have somebody talk to me like that again, I will be more than happy to spend my money at Walmart, because I would, And they were like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm not after getting people fired, except that person. And occasional other people that I've had to deal with that just provide such rude and bad customer service. But again, washing machines, if you could please stay on point, this will go much faster. So what these companies do is they hire so many people that are so unqualified to make decisions about products that are going to make them easier and make them more user-friendly. But what they're really trying to do is just make them work despite the user that's using them. So here's my example with my washing machine, and it absolutely just drives me crazy. So if anyone has ever used an older, I want to say like pre-10 years ago washing machine, or if anybody out there has ever used a washing machine without a computer in it, let's just start there. Like, I'm pretty sure like my grandmother's washing machine is still running just fine. It's still dirty, it's still that awful color and stuff, but I bet you it's running just fine. Because the tub was made out of like old Sherman tanks, so you couldn't do anything with that unless the Nazis sent a U-boat to take it out. And all the mechanics were just on and off, right? Like, there was a belt that you had to replace every 15 years. That's fine. It's basically the same belt that runs, like, the tanks that run down the street now, like that kind of stuff. So if anybody remembers those washing machines, every now and again, and I mean like really every now and again, you would have this situation where if you don't know, what a washing machine does is it basically fills a tub with water, and your clothes are in there, and you have some detergent in there, and the washing machine basically is like whoosh, 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 right? Just shakes it all around. Like, if you wanted to do this, like, you could just put it in a container, and you've seen these manual ones, like, you can see them, like, you just put clothes in a container, and you just shake it as hard as you can, and that's basically foaming everything up, frothing everything up, agitating everything, trying to get, the dirt off the clothes. Right, that's all it does. That's all a washing machine does until we get to the end, right? So it drains all of that. All that water goes away. And then it refills back up with clean water. Now, every now and then, because it's done all this shaking, every now and then you get a situation where you have more clothes or more material on one side than the other. So far, we're still fine. Nobody cares, not even the washing machine. You fill that thing up, and then as it goes to rinse, it shakes again to make sure it gets out all this stuff. And then it drains all the water again. And then the very last thing it does is the rinse and spin cycle. It's already rinsed, technically. This is the rinse and spin cycle. In the spin cycle, it takes this round bin, right, and starts to spin it as fast as it possibly can. It does that because it has holes on the outside of this bin for the water to push through. Now, if anybody's ever spun anything or had two people like in a tire swing that were just kind of unbalanced weights, every now and then things start to go kind of off balance. If you've ever driven a car that starts to shake because your wheels, your tires are unbalanced, like, I don't know, that's kind of older school, but like, that's what that is. You can't spin a circle in a perfect circle that's not completely balanced. You'll get an oblong orbit, like, you can go into astrophysics and stuff like that. I cannot believe I spent so much time talking about that, but that is what happens. Happens every now and then. And I'm here to tell you, from the deep ancient past, in that situation, what you would do is you would hear the washing machine do this, because when it's shaking and spinning and it's unbalanced, that thing is making what we in the business call a ruckus. And you can hear that ruckus from absolutely everywhere in the house. Sometimes, like in my grandmother's house, you could feel it in every corner of the house. And what you would do is you would come down or come over or come up as quick as you possibly could, come to the washing machine and open the lid, and then everything would stop. Then you as a human would suss out the fact that you now have 75 towels on one side and 2 socks on the other. And you could be like, oh, let me just balance this out. And then you pull the knob, because that was the genius of the washing machine switch. You pull the knob, and it would just start back up again. No harm, no foul. Just fine. So what do they do now? Here's what they do. They take the human out of the equation because the human can't handle that. Either the human's putting on their wash and then leaving, which, by the way, is the dumbest thing you can do. Every plumber that doesn't want you to spend more money on them, their services, will tell you don't ever do that. Ever, ever, ever do that. A washing machine holds a ton of water, and you can just kind of keep an ear out or an eye on it if it's in your house and you're present, and then all of a sudden, like, if something goes wrong, like, you can shut it off. But if you're not there, you're dumping gallons and gallons of water onto your floor, maybe through, if you're in an apartment, maybe through the thing beneath you. Like, it's a big deal. Don't do your laundry and then leave. That's like kind of like society rule number one. So what they do is, because humans can't handle this balancing act, or they're just putting in their stuff and leaving because they're just too busy to be burdened by the fact that they have to wash their clothes. Like, I'm sure there's people in Eritrea right now that's like, oh, it sounds like a terrible burden. Do you have a sandwich? But then, like, the washing machine now has to do this. That's the washing machine's job. Now, what the washing machine does is it fills it up with water and tries to get everything to float evenly, which is fine if you're in the situation where you have 37 socks on one side and one sock on the other. But if you have something like a towel or a robe or a blanket, or even just like a lot of jeans compared to like your shorts and stuff, floating stuff in water, unless it's like Superstorm Sandy level water, or for those of you in Florida, Hurricane Idalia level water, unless you're doing that, you're not moving much, like, if anything at all. So if you're like me and you enjoy this situation, watching the robots fail and drown under their own weight, they will do this 20 times. They will refill, hope for the best, start to spin, fail, drain. They will refill, spin a little bit, hope for the best, fail, and drain. This goes on over and over again. But the real bitch of it is, and this is where the human comes in, if I go over there, or when I go over there, while it's just filling, not even while it's moving, while it's just filling, I can't open the lid to manually assist my robot friend because I'm too stupid to work within a moving washing machine, so they lock me out. Can't get in there. Can't get in there at all. You have to cancel the entire cycle, open the door, spend 3 seconds repositioning everything, restart the system, which is also not so easy because there's no dials anymore. Restart the system at the rinse and spin phase, and then go on with your day. Because computers are trying to save me from myself, and they're going to put the washing machines out on the front line to make sure that happens. What's the point of that? Absolutely nothing, and I really can't even remember how I got started on it. But I will tell you this. We are in no danger of being replaced by robots just yet. As long as the human that you are remains smarter than that machine. Until that day, you're in good shape. But I'm here to tell you that for half of us, that day has already come and gone. Because some of the people that I keep running into on a fairly weekly basis are some of the dumbest people I have ever met in my entire life. And I run into them and immediately think, oh, that's why they have the washing machine that has to unbalance itself, because this dumb fuck couldn't figure it out. And we also can't trust them to do it correctly. So we're just going to have to do it for them. Because I am a washing machine, and I am smarter than half the people in America right now. Isn't that crazy to you? I would wish the good people of Florida the best in their time of need, but honestly, I just don't give a shit about them or their state. I feel like you deserve exactly what you get, so hope you all can swim.